Water is the most important source of life. Water has a simple molecular structure that is composed of one oxygen atom and two hydrogen atoms. Water has several properties that make it unique amongst compounds and make it possible for all forms of known life to function. Unique properties of water are due to its hydrogen bond.
Greetings everyone, I am Xavier, and I'll be conducting an experiment explaining the solvent properties of water. For this experiment, we need plastic cup, water, cooking oil, sugar, table salt, and rod. As we can clearly see, water dissolved sugar completely, while oil did not dissolve sugar. The same goes with salt in oil, it does nothing. Water, however, completely dissolved the salt. This is probably because water is a bipolar and can attract many types of polar molecules, while oil can only.
What is water density? Water density is the weight of the water per its unit volume, which depends on the temperature of the water. So now I'm going to conduct a DIY experiment to test the density of water using different temperatures. The materials needed for this experiment is two different food coloring, hot water, cold water, and a plastic sheet. Firstly, add in the green food coloring into the cold water. Then add in the red food coloring into the hot water. Stir it well until both the food coloring are completely dissolved in the water. Then place a plastic sheet on the cup with cold water. Invert it upside down and place it on top of the cup with hot water. Gently pull the plastic sheet away. What we can observe is that the hot water with the red food coloring mixes with the cold water. This is because cold water is denser than hot water. Thus, it sinks in the hot water. Next, the same steps are repeated, except this time, the plastic sheet is placed on the hot water and inverted upside down to be placed on the cold water. The plastic sheet is gently pulled away. From this observation, we can see that the two water does not mix. This is because the hot
Have you ever wondered how the water get all the way to the tops of tree or any other parts of plant? Well, I could tell you. So let's start our experiment. The experiment that I have done is about water transportation and transpiration. So transpiration is a process where water is pulled up from the roots of the plant, so the water is going to move up. For the apparatus and materials, first we need a piece of celery with the leafy parts on the top. Second, some food coloring. Third, you need a cup that big enough to stand the celery in, or you can just use a big water bottle. And you need some water. You also need a spoon. First thing first, you need to cut off the bottom edge of the celery stalk, so the celery at the end is nice and fresh. Then add at least 2 spoons of food coloring to the water. This is depend, but the more you put, the easier it will be seen later. So just put as much as you can. Put the celery in the colored water. So we are going to wait a full day at least to see how the color water change. After a day, pick up the celery stalk and have a close look at the bottom edge that was standing in the water. We can see the water from the cup has moved through the celery stalk. We can tell this happened because the leafy part has changed color, and we can see the color clearly, especially when we break it in half. Moving up through the xylem, the water actually sticking to themselves. So water molecules are cohesively be bound to one another. So as one water molecules move, the next is going to get pulled up. They are going to keep shoving, so the water going to move as a column. Next, the water is going to adhere to the sides of the xylem, so it's gonna through hydrogen bonding. It's also going to stitch to the sides of the actual plant vascular tissue, and that is adhesion. The combination of cohesion and adhesion allow the water flows through the capillary action from the roots to the top in a column of water. So now I want to explain more about how this cohesion relate to surface tension by showing an experiment about water droplets and a coin. We just need a coin, some water, and a straw. Since I don't have a dropper, so I just use straw. The cohesion and surface tension become apparent when the drops of water we add to the coin reach to the edge of the coin. Once the water has reached to the edge, you begin to see a bubble or dome of water forming on top of the coin, as seen here. The bubble shape is a result of the water molecules clinging to one another in an optional shape.
Do you know water has a high specific heat capacity? Why? Because water has many adhesive hydrogen bonds. So now I'm going to test the thermal properties of water. The pink balloon contains air only. Why the blue balloon has water inside it? Let's start with the pink balloon first. The balloon was exploded. It happened because the air particle inside the balloon received huge energy from the heat. Let's see what will happen to the blue balloon. We can see the balloon doesn't explode. And the black shoes appear. The strong hydrogen bond have effect on the physical properties of water. It causing high melting point and boiling point because it need bigger energy to break those strong hydrogen bond.
The versatility of water as a solvent is essential to living organisms.